That evening, while Chloe was sitting down and sipping a glass of wine, Stella, her friend from the hospital, had come to drop her son Jason. With the look on Chloe's face, Stella knew that probably Chloe had found out about her husband, but she didn't say anything. The moment Jason went upstairs, Chloe offered Stella a glass of wine, to which Stella accepted, and while they drank, Chloe looked at her and told her, "How do you feel living a double life?" Stella quickly looked at her and said, "I don't understand." Chloe said, "Okay, you once told me it's not easy to get married to a young, handsome man, right?" And that was when Stella knew that Chloe had found out about everything. And she quickly apologized to Chloe, telling her that it wasn't her fault, that Austin had made her promise that he wasn't going to tell her about it. And she should know that she had also advised Austin against it. And she quickly changed the whole story and told Chloe, "But you know that men will always cheat. It's no one's fault here, you know. But don't tell me you're willing to leave your marriage for that young girl. Don't tell me you're willing to walk away from your home because of that young girl." Chloe looked at her and said, "I don't understand. What are you trying to say?" Stella told her, "Even if he cheats, it's just a normal thing for a man to want to discharge. Don't tell me you want to walk out of your home. My dear, you have to stay in this home with everything you've done for Austin. You're the one that pays his mother's hospital bill. You're the one that opened his company for him. With everything you've invested in this home, you want to leave it for that young twat. You better don't. Just take it as one of his foreplay and hold your home." Stella left the home, and the moment she left, Chloe thought about everything Stella has said. She actually fixed Austin's life. Austin had come to her when he was at his lowest. Even after their marriage, she did everything for him. She was the one that opened his company. She was the one that made him who he is now. And while she was still thinking about it, Austin had returned back a drunk man. So there was no room for any conversation. Austin even slept on the couch the moment he entered the house. So Chloe went to bed and made up her mind not to divorce her husband. She was going to ask him about it and know what he had to say. She hoped and believed that he was going to say the truth. She really hoped. The next morning, she prepared breakfast as usual and went to work. But to her greatest surprise, her first patient that day was Fyodora, the daughter of her patient who had invited her for an art exhibition. Fyodora walked up to her and told her, "My mom had asked me to come to you, being that you're a very good doctor." Chloe looked at her and told her to sit down, and Chloe quickly asked her what was wrong with her. After Fyodora had explained everything that was wrong with her, Chloe took some of her samples for blood tests and quickly ran a pregnancy test on her. And to Chloe's surprise, Fyodora was pregnant. Chloe became upset. She was angry. She couldn't contain her anger, as Fyodora was the young lady sleeping with her husband. How dare she? But Chloe put herself together, being a very professional worker, and she told her, "You're pregnant. Do you know?" To which Fyodora was surprised. She didn't know she was pregnant. And Chloe asked her, "So are you going to tell your boyfriend? Does he know you're pregnant?" Fyodora looked at her and said, "I'm dating a married man and I'm going to tell him that I'm pregnant. And he loves me." Chloe was looking at her and asked her, "So you think he loves you more than he loves his wife?" "My dear, don't be deceived," she quickly told her. "But I wish you well." Fyodora quickly felt not comfortable, as she knew that the person she was dating was Chloe's husband. She quickly told Chloe, "If you don't mind, I would love to go see the gynecologist. I think your job is done here." And she stood up and left. And when Fyodora went to see the gynecologist, being Stella, she had asked Stella to please help her. She wanted to abort the child, as she wasn't sure if Austin was okay with the child, being that Austin had not yet finalized his divorce, as Austin had promised her that he was going to divorce Chloe. To which Stella told her no problem, that she should go think about it, and when she was ready, she should come for a legal evacuation. To which Fyodora left. But the moment Fyodora left the hospital, Stella quickly ran to Chloe's office and asked her, "Were you the one that carried out the pregnancy test?" To which Chloe said yes, she's pregnant. She's pregnant for Austin. Stella looked at her and said, you should be happy. And Chloe asked her why. I don't understand. Why should I be happy? Stella said she wants to abort the child. Chloe looked at her and said, no, she can't. She must keep that child. She's too young to carry out an abortion. You can't carry out anything on her. She's too young for that. She has to give birth to the child. Stella looked at Chloe and said, I don't understand you. I thought you wanted to fight for your home. Are you already giving up on your home already? Chloe said, I'm not. I can't advise her to do that. She's too young for that. Stella looked at her and said, okay, no problem. It's your home. And she left. After the close of work for that day, Chloe quickly went to meet a divorce lawyer to ask what to do, as she wanted to divorce her husband. The divorce lawyer had asked her if she had any proof that her husband was cheating, but she remembered that the picture Sonia had sent to her did not really show much details. So she told the divorce lawyer no. And the divorce lawyer quickly advised her never to show that she wanted to divorce her husband, that she should pretend everything was okay, but rather she should try to gather all necessary evidences in order to divorce her husband. She should try to gather every document, pictures, proof that her husband was having an affair, so that she could easily divorce her husband and win the case, to which Chloe accepted. And that same day, Stella quickly called Austin and told Austin that she would love to see Austin. And while they conversed, Stella asked Austin, do you know that Theodora is pregnant? Austin was shocked and said, I don't know. And she also told Austin, do you know she wants to abort the child? Austin became angry and said, how dare she? Without even taking permission from me. Stella looked at Austin and said, are you okay? What do you mean, how dare she? I thought you say you love Chloe. And Austin said, I love Chloe. I love my wife. And Stella said, and you also love Theodora. Austin said, yes, I love Theodora. She gives me inspiration for my work, for my building plans. Stella looked at him and said, you must be really confused. Austin looked at Stella and said, you won't understand. I love these two women, but in two different ways. I love Chloe as a wife. I love her as the mother of my son. But she's too uptight. She wants everything in a particular way. Chloe makes it look like you can never make mistake. Everything about Chloe has to be in a very strict manner. But with Theodora, I live freely. I tend to breathe fresh air. She gives me joy. She gives me liberty. I love these two women, but in two different ways. And I still want both of them in my life. And he quickly turned to Stella and said, I hope you've not told Chloe about any of this. Stella said, no, I haven't told Chloe. But I thought you say you wanted to divorce Chloe. That was what Theodora told me. And that's why she said she didn't want to keep the baby. Because she said she didn't want to keep the baby until you had finalized your divorce with Chloe. Austin looked at her and said, I have no intention of divorcing Chloe now. I don't. At least not yet. I love these two women and I want to keep them. Until when my mind is made up, then I will know who to follow. Stella looked at him and said, you must be a very confused human being. I'm so angry that I got involved in this your whole mess. How come? Why did I even get involved with you? How can you say you love the two women? Why not choose one? If you want to go for Chloe, go with Chloe. She has always been in the picture. She has helped you. And Austin looked at her and said, that's the issue. She helps me. She wants to own me. That's the difference here. With Theodora, I feel like a man. Stella told him, no problem. I will leave you to think about it. I just hope you make the right decision so that you don't end things before it begins. Austin told her thank you, and he left. That evening, he had gone to visit Theodora to plead with Theodora not to abort the child. He told Theodora that Theodora should give him just 1 month, that he was going to divorce Chloe, that he needed to finalize everything and make sure that everything goes well. He even hugged Theodora passionately and told Theodora, you know I love you. You're the only thing that makes me breathe. You're the love of my life. Please, don't abort this child. Keep the baby. I want to have this baby with you. I really want to have this baby with you. And he spent some hours with Theodora before returning back. But the moment he returned back, he went straight to Chloe and hugged her passionately and asked Chloe how work was for that day, and even helped to make dinner for them. Chloe was confused. What's going on here? Why is my husband acting like this? I thought Stella would have told him that Fedora was pregnant. How come he's being all nice? Chloe couldn't fix the puzzle. She didn't even understand what was going on. They had a perfect dinner and went to bed. And the next day, Chloe quickly walked up to Stella and asked Stella, "Did you tell my husband that Fedora was pregnant for him?" To which Stella said, "Yes, I did." And Chloe was confused. So why was he being all loving? And Stella quickly gingered her again and told her, "And that's why I'm telling you to hook up to your husband. Do not leave your husband for that young lady. Austin loves you. Austin really loves you." But Chloe wasn't convinced in any way. She knew that Austin was faking it. She knew that Austin wanted something out of this. And it quickly clicked to her that she had not checked anything about their joint account for long. And after the close of work for that day, she called Austin to please pick Jason that she had a very important thing to do. And she went to the bank. And to her greatest surprise, Austin had emptied their joint account. Not just that he had emptied the joint account, he had even taken a loan with the joint account. Chloe started shedding tears. She couldn't believe that Austin was this wicked. Austin was a wicked and a very mischievous man. And she quickly collected the statement of account. She wanted to know when all this started, how the money left, and even what led to the loan. And while Chloe was still trying to figure out everything that was going on in her joint account with her husband, the chief accountant had broken another sad news to her and told her that her husband had also emptied their son's account and also taken loan on their son's account too. Chloe quickly thanked the accountant and she wasn't ready to start shedding tears in the bank. And she left. And when she got home, she scattered everything in her husband's study. She didn't even mind that Jason was around. She needed to know where all this money was going through. And to her greatest surprise, she had seen Austin's transaction. How Austin paid a luxurious trip to China and even spent it with Fedora. Austin spending and buying Fedora luxurious items, branded bags, branded shoes, even the apartment Fedora stays in was also gotten by Austin. And all this money did not belong to Austin. All this money belonged to her. She was the only person really paying huge amount of money into the joint account, as Austin's business wasn't really doing well at of that time. So how come Austin was comfortable spending someone else's money? How come Austin was comfortable stealing from her? Chloe was trying to figure this whole thing out. She didn't know what was going on. She was trying to understand what Austin was saying in this young lady. And while flipping through some of his documents in his room, she found out that Fedora's father is the sole investor in Austin's company. And she quickly asked herself, does Fedora even know? Does she know that this man is a broke-ass man that is feeding off me? And she started fixing this puzzle. Why was Austin's mother comfortable? Why is it that his mother never says anything? How come Austin had never visited for a period of 6 months and his mother did not call? His mother did not reach out. Are you sure she does not know about it? Chloe packed her bag and went straight to the hospital. And when she got to the hospital, she asked Austin's mom, "Do you know your son is cheating on me? Do you know your son is having an affair with another lady?" Austin's mom looked at her and said, "Please forgive him. Forgive him just this once." And she asked her, "Do you know?" Austin's mom said yes. And she told her, "So how come you never said anything? Are you okay with the fact that your son is doing this to me?" And Austin's mom raised her voice out of anger and said, "Because you are an uptight lady. My son always come here crying and wailing about how you want everything in a perfect way. Sometimes he wish he had not gotten married to you. He always said that the only good thing that had come out of the marriage was your son, Jason. You practically make your husband do things that you want. Why not allow him to be a man? Why not allow him to breathe? Chloe was disappointed with the words coming out of Austin's mother's mouth. So you mean to tell me that I don't allow your son to breathe? So you mean to tell me I am suffocating your son? What happened to his mouth? Why couldn't he speak up? So does cheating make him a better person? Does cheating make him feel like he's on top of the world? If I'm not making him breathe, why is he still in the relationship? Austin's mother started begging him, can you just let my son go? Can you? Chloe looked at her and said, no, I'm not going to let your son go. I'm going to make sure he pays for everything he had done before I let him go. And she looked at Austin's mother and said, you have to be alive to witness everything that will happen to your son. You have to be alive to witness how your son is going to go under. He's going to suffer pain, humiliation, everything he has caused me. He's going to suffer it one after the other. And she left the hospital. Chloe was angry. She was disappointed. And the moment she left the hospital, she went straight to Austin's company that night. And lo and behold, Austin was at work up until 8, as their Chinese investor had cancelled on them. So the only person he had was Fedora's father. Chloe looked at Austin but could not say anything. Tears just kept on rolling down her eyes. With everything she had found out, his cheating, his stealing from her, his mom knew about it, his friends knew about it, her friends knew about it. In fact, she's a total stranger. And she was about to lose everything. She looked at him and asked him, are you coming back home today? It was past your coming back time, so I just wanted to know if you needed me to come pick you up. Austin looked at his wife, hugged his wife tightly and said, don't worry, I'll soon be home. And Chloe went back home. But that night she couldn't sleep. She kept on asking herself, where did I go wrong? Did I just love him too much that I didn't figure out what he was doing? Was I too ignorant? Or was I just too lazy to go check my accounts? How come I never received a message and I wasn't even bothered? I just thought my husband was doing everything and doing it well. Unknown to me, he has been cheating, stealing, and killing my soul. And he's still here telling me he loves me. But she quickly remembered the words of the divorce lawyer. Do not allow him find out you want to divorce him. You have to keep smiling in his face till the day you divorce him. While Chloe was still trying to figure out if she should divorce Austin or not, being that Jason was going to be affected. She had seen the way Austin and Jason are so close. They watched the movie together. They did everything together. Jason loved his father. She knew that Jason was going to be affected with this whole thing. And she started asking herself, was it worth it? Should I just wait and see if Austin is going to change? I don't want to break the heart of my son. While she was thinking about this whole thing, Jason had just returned back from school and quickly told her about one of his friends whose parent had just divorced and how it was affecting his friend seriously in school. Jason had told his mom, do you know everybody blames her for their parents' divorce? They even talk about it in our class. Chloe looked at her son but couldn't say anything. As on her own part, she was still trying to process whether to divorce his father. What was she going to do? How was she going to do this? Chloe had told herself that she wasn't going to divorce Austin. At least she was just going to wait and see if Austin comes by and see if Austin becomes a changed person. While coming out of a bookshop that day, as she had gone to get some books for her son, she saw Fedora holding a baby book, How to Be a New Mom. And she looked at her and said, how are you doing? To which Fedora smiled and said, I'm fine. And she quickly told Fedora, wow, so you decide on keeping your baby. I'm so glad for you. To which Fedora was shocked, as she had never discussed about aborting the child with Chloe. And she asked Chloe, I don't understand, what do you mean? To which Chloe told her, my dear, we are doctors. And because I was the first person that handled your case, your OB had to come confirm some information with me. And that was when I knew you decided not to keep the baby. Fedora looked at her and said, I'm keeping the baby. The father of my baby wants me to keep the baby. as he said he's going to be divorcing his wife in 2 months' time. Chloe looked at her and said, "Wow, that's good. I'm excited for you. But the question is, why 2 months' time? Why don't he divorce her immediately and get married to you? Since you're already pregnant, why wait for 2 months?" Fedora looked at her and said, "Because he wants to make sure everything is okay. He wants to make sure that everything is perfect before he divorces her." And Fedora entered her car and zoomed off. Chloe couldn't stop thinking about this whole situation. So Austin was even planning to divorce her. And here she was, reconsidering staying with him. Meanwhile, he had the intention to divorce her. Austin is a wicked man. Austin is nothing but a wicked soul from the pit of hell, she told herself. So he had the intention to divorce me. So with this in mind, Chloe made up her mind that she was going to gather all necessary evidence about Austin cheating, and she was going to try and divorce him, even before Austin had the intention of divorcing her. If Austin had planned to divorce her in 2 months' time, she was going to divorce him in 1 month's time. So Chloe thought to herself. So she quickly contacted Sonia and asked Sonia if Sonia could be of help again to her. To which Sonia said, "Yes, no problem. I can. What do you want me to do?" And Chloe told her that she was willing to pay for a new apartment for Sonia. She needed Sonia to live close to Fedora's home so as to get pictures of Austin and Fedora, because she needed those pictures for her divorce settlement. To which Sonia accepted and told her, "I'm going to do it for you. You've saved me numerous times, so I'm going to help with anything you want me to help you do. I'm ready to help you do that." Chloe quickly got an apartment for Sonia, right in the same estate with that of Fedora. She also got Sonia a car and even a camera in order to picture every movement of Austin and Fedora. The very day Sonia moved into the home, Sonia went to present a gift to Fedora as a new neighbor. And while going to present the gift, she held a book about being a new mom. That quickly grabbed the attention of Fedora, and Fedora invited her into the home and told her, "Are you also pregnant?" To which Sonia said, "Yes, I am." And they started conversing, talking about first-time mom, how to navigate life, and how everything was going to be. Sonia, the moment she was done, Sonia quickly gave the feedback to Chloe, telling her that she had won one strike, as now she's close to Fedora. As she had lied to Fedora that she was pregnant, and Fedora feels that she has found a friend in her. Chloe was glad. She was really excited that she was about to win this battle before her husband. The next day, while Chloe was sitting in her office and attending to her patients, a mail had come in for her. And she was surprised. She wasn't expecting anything. She had not ordered anything. And to her greatest surprise, she had seen her son's camera the moment she had opened the box. And while going through the picture, trying to figure out who had sent the camera to her place of work, she found out that her son was trying to video her husband's birthday event and had seen her husband kissing Fedora. And out of shock, he dropped his camera in the event center and flee. So the event people had sent it to Chloe in case she knew who had it. And she was the one that booked the event hall for her husband's birthday. Chloe was shocked. So her son knew that his father was cheating. Chloe became heartbroken. She couldn't believe what was going on. So how was she going to tell it to her son now? Unknown to her, Jason was already deeply affected. Jason barely concentrated in school. He was depressed. And he picked fights with any of his classmates that dared talk to him. Jason became very irritated with everybody. Jason was greatly affected with everything. And he knew that his mom might someday divorce his father. That evening, she had walked up to her son to talk to her son about the whole scenario, because she knew he already knew. And she asked Jason, Jason, how are you doing? And how is your friend who you said her parents are divorced? Jason looked at his mom and said, Mom, can you forgive Dad just this once? Can you? So what do you think? Do you think Chloe is going to forgive Austin because Jason already knew that he was cheating? Or do you think she's going to go on with the divorce, being that Austin has stolen from her? Austin is lying to her. And Austin is even plan on divorcing her. Do you think Chloe is going to reconsider divorcing Austin, being that her son is going to be affected by this?